All right. Um, Thank you so much for joining me today. Uh, I, I think there's a lot of confusion about the rules of the sport of football, and um, I would like to clear that up because I agree that the rules can be very confusing. And for this reason, I have decided to create a simple 20-minute video, uh, probably 20 minutes, maybe longer, describing the rules of football. Um, my qualifications are such that I have watched many chick flicks, and in said chick flicks, there's always a football player, and sometimes uh, there's some lingo that is used, and thus I'm qualified because I have watched She's the Man, and I've watched Sydney White, and I've watched Legally Blonde, and many more films that eloquently and concisely describe the rules of football. And I'm now realizing that She's the Man is about soccer, and they don't talk about football. But in Sydney White, uh, Sydney does catch and throw a football. So let's start there. What is a football? A football is an oversized almond that has been sewn together by squirrels because they love nuts. Made by squirrels. Isn't that a fun fact? It is hollow and it is held together by magic. What magic? Um, the magic of the animal kingdom. Originally, now I'm pretty sure this is true. Everything that I'm saying is true, but this one specifically. Originally, it was made by pigs. There was a factory of pigs, and they are the um, artisans that made football. Now, football is played on a field with grass, and there are two teams per game. Per game. Each team has six, no more, somewhere between, somewhere between uh, 7 and 14 people. And this is very important. They must all be friends. If they are not all friends, they are not allowed to compete. Now, on the field, there is at most 7 players. Now, this is true. I checked it. Pick another color for fun, huh? Um, how does a game work? Excellent question. On this field, which is a rectangle, let me just draw this rectangle. There are goals. The goals are H's. They are very tall H's, um, and they are on either side. So this is one goal, and that's another goal. And if you look at a goal like from the ground, so if you're looking at it this way, it looks like this, and the ball can either go up here or down there, and that's a goal. Now, if it goes below, then it has to be carried by a guy on the team. Um, and then if it goes up here, it has to be thrown. But here's like the middle of the court. So if it is a goal type, I'm gonna call this goal type 1 and goal type 2. If it's goal type number 2, then it must be thrown from the opposite side of the field. Technically, and this is again true, you can jump through the top. You can go with the ball over the H, just like you would go under, but uh, go, you can't throw it under. You must go with the ball under. So type 2, uh, throw or uh, accompany. And then type number 1, accompany only. Now, type number 2 is worth 2 points, which is why it's officially called type number 2. Number 1 is worth 1 point. Again, why it's officially called type number 1. Um, and this is true. I checked it. Very good. Now, let's discuss the uh, player attitude One, from what I can tell, they must hug each other. I think you get plus 1 point for hugging a member of the opposite team. Um, so hugs are very important for the game. Um, and it works such that like you want to hug the member of the opposite team, but you don't want to be hugged by the member of the opposite team, right? So it's one way hugs. You do not hug back. Um, because that would betray the members of your team because you're all friends and love each other. Next, um, so one way hugs, let's clarify. Give, hug, +1, get, hug, -1, group hug is +3 points. There's many members of the team, and normally they sort of pile together. Um, so a group hug is worth many more points than a not group hug, a single hug. Um, how does the game start? The game starts when the referee puts a ball down. Or wait, no, sorry, I know this. They flip a coin. See, this is. I'm trying to remember how this works. Okay, okay. Wait, I feel like I know this. I feel like I can really answer this because I can answer all the questions, but this one specifically I can really, really answer. Let's change a color for fun. Let's go to blue. Red and blue because this is America. Um, so, mm, okay, so they toss a coin and say they pick this team, which is team B, and that's a B. Um, it, the team will decide. They line up like this, right? And then they line up all behind each other. So they're hugging each other from the back. And then one of them it, it will have the ball, and then they will give it to the one behind them, but through their legs. And then they will kick the ball. Kick. And then they want it to go over here when they kick it. But then sometimes the team over here, wait, I can just do this, right? Yeah, sometimes the team over here will actually catch the ball and then they run and they try to do a goal type number 1, and this is goal type number 2. And then And then if they get a goal, if a goal is gotten, or accomplished, um, they must jump to lock it in or point. So they lock in the point by jumping. And this is true. And I have checked it. Um, then they start again, but the other team gets the ball. Now, what's against the rules? That's an excellent question. Good question. Weapons, um, skirts, and heels. Eye gouging and small talk, I think. Everything else is fine. Oh, you also can't leave the field, I believe. And if you do any of these things, you get a yellow card. 3 yellow cards gives you 1 red card, or just maybe that's a red card. Yeah, this is a red card, and this is a red cards, and then that means you must sit out the rest of the game. Um, the last most important thing is the game is split into 2 parts. Um, the first part is 30, 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Then the coaches are responsible for putting on a halftime show. Um, and that depends on which team has the most, which team is losing. Um, yes, and that's very important. And then the second half is the um is also 40 minutes. And then at the end, whoever has the most points wins. And that is how football works. Oh, you also, unlike other football or soccer, you can travel. Oh, wait, no, in soccer you can travel. No, you can travel and hold the ball. Um, Now that you know the rules, you can go play football with your friends. But don't forget a helmet. Feel free to tune back in eventually, and I will explain the rules of baseball.